Yep.
100%. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, you saw my 311. Try to stay like linked up because the camera you found, McCallister, and then this today, I think it's reasonable that they're looking for us on the roof, right? It made the two things may not be tied together because that camera really could have just been for the Darkstone fixing, but yeah. Anyways, all right, how y'all doing?
We're good. We're discussing Bobby.
All right. Well, I'm gonna listen in. I'm just doing paperwork.
I was just arriving, kind of after getting the full view of the evidence and kind of reading everything here. That I don't know, McCallister, that I don't know that this lands in a conviction if it spells out its entire course.
I agree.
Now, if you have certainty that he is going to come in and take this plea deal, if you're certain that he's got this guilty conscience about him, based on the phone calls that he's had with the director and with Blunt, kind of reading through Blunt's statement, I'm seeing what he means by that. If you think that he's going to do that, and if you think that you can get him in custody, and as part and parcel of the interrogation that you have with him, you get him to agree to sign it on a recording. Right? Proceed. Get him to sign because you meet the bar for probable cause for sure. You don't meet the bar for beyond a reasonable doubt if he chooses to contest further.
Yeah.
And that is the literal problem I've been having. It's the fact that this case has been just super messy in that regard. So it's just very, very difficult to track down exacts. But you are right. Beyond a reasonable doubt, it probably isn't. But
well, I think it's important to note that beyond a reasonable doubt is unbeknownst to anyone but the judge that is going to oversee it, right?
Correct. And you're spinning. Well, you know, it's dealer's choice on that one is what I'll say, right?
I'm walking a very fine line depending on what judge I get.
Yeah. I'm going to frame it differently. No one has gotten this charge, so we do not know what the bar is. And therefore, you are rolling a dice that may feel like it's in your favor. I'm kind of in the belief that it is, because he's literally, quite frankly, told me he's committing treason, and he did. Like, and as a former ex-marshal, he knows what that is. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't actually think you don't. I actually think you. This is very easy clap. It's just too much information, and it's too much work. That's how I would pose it.
The problem with that, though, right, is he's told you that, but he's also told you that while he's simultaneously been having a mental breakdown, and swapping between different disassociative personalities, from what McCallister's telling me here.
Yes.
Right? Over the course of the same phone call where he's actually said that to you.
What is it? Black Jug Healer.
And that narrative is kind of written throughout the report, where those calls are documented.
Look how good this is. Yeah.
A spontaneous utterance can only go so far, and if there's a reason to cast out on the spontaneous utterance, it can kind of go out the window. Then this DOJ, as it is going to go towards actions, and things done, and things that they can prove through evidence, rather than what he may have said while he was in an altered state of mind.
So for me,
the only other person I know, just to kind of give context to, for treason that's been ever convicted of it successfully, was Soze back in the day.
Yes. You know what I would lean on, if it was coming to a treason charge, is this reads, whoever engages in or incites others to participate in rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the state of San Andreas. And the engage in inciting took place on the incident roughly almost, the island situation with what's his name, which we constructively, he was in possession of the book. He told us on recording that he made the book. He also stated that he was Echo, right? We also can identify 2 civilians, actually the third, right? So Nora, Frank, and Tinkleman, who were provided this material, who later on recording, Frank and Nora tell us that they're also given additional material, the material of which, number one, undermines the authority of the state, right? In conducting, what's the word called when in a non-authorized entity it tries to do judicial and prosecutorial shit, like a extrajudicial court, like there's a word for it, where a
I know what you're thinking of.
A non-government entity it's like vigilantism, but it actually has more meaning behind it.
I know what you're thinking of. I'm just blanking right now.
Yeah,
information overload here.
To me, that's the hook, and everything else is just ornaments, right?
So then here's my question. If we're going to go down that road, McCallister, you know this case better. Do any of those individuals who were on that island, who are willing to have received these instructions or who have acted on behalf of this organization, I'm looking primarily at Tony Tinkleman here, would any of them be willing to go on the stand should this proceed to trial and give a face to the name that is articulating what happened here and say that they were coerced by this organization?
I think Frank and Nora would. I mean, just having spoken to them, they may not. They do not fuck with it. They've told us a lot, and they may not do it in a public stand, but they would do it in a closed setting, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm hesitant with them because they act as a media organization and they need to maintain integrity in their sources. They're not going to blow their names out to say, hey, we disbanded or dismantled this organization, because maybe then if that happens, those phone calls that they get from Charlie might stop, as an example, right?
They have been willing to hyper cooperate based on my last conversation. I don't know what they've said to you, McCallister, but even as a worst case scenario, I would be shocked if they were not willing to go in a closed room deposition where their names and statements are redacted, right? And yeah,
worth a shot.
Yeah.
Do you think you could get Tinkleman to talk just as a third person here, as a doctor, as a quote unquote upstanding citizen of Los Santos?
Yeah, I think Tinkleman would. Frankly, I'm not quite sure as to how I'm going to do it, but I also need to redact several pieces of his interrogations, specifically the portions that mention the ADMC, because they're kind of problematic and would probably lead to a threat on his life. But other than that,
you file the interrogation then under seal.
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah.
I just saw the text. I've been saving the world one traffic stop at a time, I guess. Like, genuinely, I don't.
Traffic stopping like crazy recently.
I legitimately have not been able to traffic stop in all day. That was as soon as I get done talking to Bean, it immediately happened. Do you know where the panel is?
I don't even know if we have a panel.
I bet it's like hidden. Oh, you might be right. I don't know how this thing works. Yeah, where would it be? Oh, it might be in the bathroom?
Maybe.
It kind of makes sense, right?
It used to be right here, but, you know. No, I just don't think it's... Oh.
Let me see if I can figure it out.
Be in the locker room, maybe.
Found it.
Oh,
You
where is
found
it?
According to the blueprint, it is in here.
I was thinking maybe the locker room, that would make sense.
What's your state ID, Norman?
1208. I presume I'd need a key cutter for this.
Yes.
I can get you one later.
That too as
Okay.
well. It's not a big deal.
Okay, easy. The beauty of the treason term is any actions, etc. It's so open to like interpretation, and that with just the like material, like it, you know, man, you can get very creative as to what these things are imploring individuals to do, whether it's the undermining of authority, and we function as a state, right? The fuck extrajudicial man, ChatGPT, help me here. Well, you know what, hold on.
The problem that Blunt went over with me was the main fact that while he may have been going up against the state, he wasn't going up against a state like legislative authority.
I don't agree with that. I think that's a very predetermined sort of litmus test. This is a untested area of law, right? Treason has no strict definition at the moment, and so fundamentally, as you know, this is a case where the prosecution is effectively telling the DOJ in a way, right? Here are all the things they have done and why it is treason, why it is, you know, an incitement, why it is an engagement, why it is for rebellion, and why for insurrection. And sort of like outside of just the evidence, right? How that leads to like the philosophical reason for why it is. Am I kind of making sense here? Like
You're making sense.
Yeah.
The only thing I would posit is that you are doing a damn good job of articulating an attempt to do those things, but I think
but have they already? Yes, you are
Yeah.
absolutely correct. But and this is where sort of where I think the solution to what you're asking or what you're saying comes from. It's engages in or incites in the participation of rebellion and insurrection, and rebellion and insurrection does not inherently infer actually taking up arms. It's sort of like incite.
I mean, it doesn't have to be literal arms. The thing is you have to, for someone to be incited to do something, there has to be some kind of action that they were incited to do. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're trying to
see
with weapons destabilize the state, right?
You know what, my answer to that would be the incitement came from the initial incident, right? And then the moment there was a second and third meeting where this material and the subject matters of those materials happened, you're now actioning it, right? So and there's a much better way for, if I were to write this out, it'd probably be much better, but
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. The
sheer
notion that it caused individuals to come to the second meeting infers the action already took place, right? If it was a singular meeting where pamphlets were handed out where it was like, hey, come join Al Qaeda. I'm using this as a you know, as a way to, you know, it's easier to mentally think about, like, you know, Al Qaeda bad, right? Is that if, you know, in here I said, hey guys, let me give you some Al Qaeda material, and then nothing came out of it, right? We left and that's it. I would agree. But if you guys then came, hey guys, we're having another Al Qaeda meeting, and now you guys come to that second meeting and I'm giving you new material, and then a third and a fourth, I would argue that that already has incited, that has already caused it, right? And that in of itself is the action. Now, I will say though, once again, this is very much a philosophical argument, because there is no definition as to what the line is, right?
Because the only action that we can point to that is something that we can prove that occurred
Yes.
would be Tinkleman going with the satchel to the Merchant's Guild, getting the guns and putting them in a car.
Well, I would say the action is that they attended the second meeting, right?
That's enough
by
to
the
show
way,
an interest or
Just
association.
stating, Director Knight, that was their 5th meeting by that point.
Yes. I see that as planning. I see that as like and
So now you've arrived at conspiracy.
conspiracy
To commit.
I see where you're yeah. Once again, I think I want to be clear here. I think you know, this isn't
Look, I am of the mind that if you have him in a spot where he's making these manic phone calls, and McCallister, if you think you can get him in custody and you can get him on a recording
God.
one more time
Yes.
uttering these things, I think you're there, and I think you can say,
engages
well,
in
you're
or
saying this, so you
incites
believe it. So we are
others
going to
to
go ahead with these charges, and we're
participate
going to serve this
in.
up to you on a silver platter. As far as your get out, I think that is obviously your best course of action,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah,
Now,
I would
if you
agree
can't
with that.
Get him in, if you can't get him in custody, do I
Or
think
an
you should
individual
still
who
go ahead with the
attempts to
charges?
subvert.
Yes, I think you should. You've put the work in. I think you have absolutely met the bar for probable cause to file this case.
Mm.
But I'm saying, absent anything else, I'm not guaranteeing you, and as nobody could, but I'm not guaranteeing you success in the courtroom.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing
I
to
agree with
try.
that.
But I think there's one path here that's a more sure.
I'm
outcome
so
than
glad
the other.
Norman's here. I just want to say I appreciate you being here, Norman. This is I'm glad I'm glad you're here. Let me throw a second one at you. Would it be worth also having the secondary argument? Look at the second part of this. Or an individual who attempts to subvert the authority of the state of San Andreas through violence, rhetoric, right? So was he not attempting to subvert the authority through rhetoric
So that's
or rhetoric?
it's better, but I have my issues with that half of the charge based on prior experience.
I see what you're saying here. Yeah.
With back about a year ago with Soze and his scrawlings at the BCSO. That's very much where I landed on the conviction for him. And we all know what came of that. So
wait, what happened? Oh yeah.
This department was created, sir.
Holy shit. Wait, you were you did the treason case.
I was
That's
I was
fucking
the judge
insane.
That found Soze guilty.
Has this definition changed since
No.
you're in office?
No.
Oh shit.
That's why.
Oh my god, this is the biggest argument. Hey,
Has it?
I put the first charge of treason. I'm a course subject expert.
What's different?
It's been codified and stretched out a little bit to make more identifiers and some exclusions. I mean, the majority of it's the same, but it's in the Criminal Code of San Andreas, offenses against public safety. Article 5,
they
Chapter
never
2.
did they never using
there.
official yeah.
I'm just saying that the wording, I think the wording might be slightly different. I'm not sure. I'm trying to compare the two, but it's hard. But the codified version is the official version. So if you're reading off charges, I like to make sure that people are reading the codified version, not just off the charges list.
What is the Oh yeah,
Article
this
5, Chapter 2.
What is the report number for the legislation?
Oh, good question. That is 24574. 24574.
Are you familiar with this, by the way, Norman, that there's criminal codes that expand on?
Yeah. I've been reading through these a bit more. I hate that it's split out like this, but and I understand they got to do what they got to do.
I gotta say,
I appreciate it more.
It does allow us, and this is something we will eventually migrate to, which is recommend changes based on our observations, our own whatever, to start expanding or limiting scope on things, right?
So the problem is, by this definition that's written in legislation, it narrows it down actually to engaging in or inciting others to participate in rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the state of San Andreas or an individual who attempts to subvert the authority through violence, rhetoric, or other means. That bit of the charge is still the same. In this case, but it defines the authority as, for the purposes of the statute, to include laws and legislation of the authorities in the Constitution. So
Effectively, it limits the scope of what it is to not be the people in power, but the written law.
the state
written word.
itself and the laws that
Mm.
establish and create its
So-
foundation.
I was originally going up against that specific clause because I thought that was my best bet. I specifically wrote a paragraph that stated, whilst being a San Andreas State Marshal, by being a member of these groups and via actively carrying out tasks given to him by such groups of his own free will and volition, Mr. Barnes actively undermined and subverted the wills of the authority of the state of San Andreas' legislative body via attempting to involve other members of the San Andreas State Marshals within these organizations by attempting to cause harm to the integrity and effectiveness of this institution. I'm literally quoting a piece of the SASM legislation there. Furthermore, Mr. Barnes used his elevated knowledge as a San Andreas State Marshal to leak classified information from internal State Marshal documents to members of these organizations. I was going to continue on to say this harms the part of the SASM legislation, which means that they need to deal with organized crime and with like a bunch of other stuff. I'm more or less stating that he is corrupting and converting the SASM legislation to bend to his own whims by creating his own vigilantism organization. And he did so while
Doing
San
so
Andreas
as
State
an active
Marshal.
member of the department.
It goes against the will of the legislative authorities.
That's how I can tell you spent a lot of time looking at this, because I probably would have arrived at that after some time, but
Yep.
that's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, so I definitely still think, again, you have enough to bring the charges. There's not going to be a situation where a judge says, nah, there's no probable cause here. You've done your work. And now that you've outlined it like that, I think it ticks a bit more in your favor.
Yep.
It's just making sure that that's presented properly, and in a way that the presumably a justice would be sitting over this, given the capital level of treason.
Yeah.
In a way that they can understand, that they will be able to, take the narrative that you gave me over the last hour and a half or so, be able to piece it all together reasonably, and then find a way so that the defense, whoever he may find, can't poke enough of a hole in it to create reasonable doubt. I think you're there. It goes back to what I was telling you outside. Get the statement of charges finished.
Yo, Norman
pull the
is
fundamental
genuinely
evidence that you need
such
to press
a
this charge,
huge fucking
and get it to the
pickup.
docket,
Like,
and then
I-
do your refining and cleanup.
I
during
love that
discovery.
he's someone I
So I'm gonna be
can
posting
challenge
pieces of evidence there
me on
that would
this
explicitly,
and make me think. I just
You need
realized
to, you,
I've
you-
been
you-
talking
you
the
need
last
to-
3 minutes
You need to add everything.
thinking about this.
I'm going to be adding everything.
It's
but I'm gonna
so
be doing that during the
good,
motion for-
right?
I'm hoping-
It's not like brain drain like
Well, you don't need.
much
You don't really
feeling,
need to
you
file.
know.
You don't really need to file for continuance, right?
Hmm?
There is a discovery period that takes place. From the time of filing to the time that the case is scheduled. You have until 48 hours prior to the scheduled date to file evidence.
Oh, I know that. I'm just trying to buy as much time as I can, quite frankly, because this has been very, very complicated. And I want to make sure that I do not commit a roads violation.
No, I know. You
Yeah.
just don't want to use a continuance in bad faith.
Which side note, Norman should be and Springfield should be a part of this roads conversation that will be happening soon. Effectively, the intent is to roads is effectively being rewritten or replaced with something that is a bit more crystal clear, if that makes sense. So getting rid of some of the it's very broad at the moment, right?
So I shouldn't have to post the entire transaction history of the entire state.
Well, you know, exactly that. You know, and I think because of just the way the winds blow in San Andreas, certain, like, I'm gonna go as far as saying, like, if I was investigating you, Norman, let's just say as an example, and I've got like 50 hours, I've got the case, and, you know, Springfield, unbeknownst to her, asks you some questions that whatever, you know, that if I didn't know that she didn't put that thing in there and y'all didn't ask for it, why the fuck should it be roads? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
It depends
I
if that
agree, yeah.
material is being referenced in what's leading to your conviction.
yes. But at the same time, some of that should be on the defense, right? Hey, I made this report. I need this. And they should be provided that latitude, the defense. So I don't know what the line is, rather openly, but right now it's just anything. Like, that's why even during the, you know, when we were having that news reporter thing, like when the news reporter's here, there's a part of me that was just kind of like
Whoops.
being extra cautious. Oh no, I'm being threatened by Jessica in a conversation. Oh no, I'm scared.
That shit was hilarious, by the way.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I think things should be clear for the defense and the prosecutor instead of it being used effectively as a gotcha, right? And luckily
Yeah, 'cause
there's
I definitely did use that shit to get some cop phone records that I probably never should have had access to
Oh
as
my
a defense
God.
attorney.
I listen, I'm gonna be real with you, and no one should ever be texting things about active cases because the archivist to begin with. But I'm not opposed to if in future I walk up to one of these lockers and I get into my Civ clothes, and part of that is I take out my Civ phone, right? Like I have no problem with
There's
my
a
100%
reason that police departments across America distribute police-issued phones to their
I was
officers.
going to pitch that we should have work devices.
yeah.
There's no reason that we shouldn't.
Yeah. Eventually, the thing is that I think how we view things right now or would like to is not at the standard of local PD.
The
And
world.
that's where it goes
Yeah,
bad,
That's
right?
fair. Yeah.
Like I'm not
Also,
erping on my phone, right? I'm not, you know, maybe saying incriminating things because I'm a cop, not a gangbanger. And I think because of those things, I think things would start to, you know, I don't know if we're ready for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm
That's
fired on my
Uh,
phone.
Yeah, we know.
I mean,
Oh.
You don't know.
Huh?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Oh man. Wait, what the fuck? Where did the title
I don't think
go?
I do.
Wait, why did
You
the
sure
title
don't know?
change?
What are they talking about on the radio?
I turn mine off. Oh. Director, out of curiosity, I know
Yep.
you sent me an image from this, but have you actually seen the book behind this before?
Give me 1 sec. Wait, did you give me something?
Yes.
There was so much material coming in the midst of Archivist, Basis, and all this that literally this was like, you know, oh
I've been taking so long.
no, right here. Wait, this is the evidence.
Yep.
This right here, they took this from PD documents.
Yeah, but I can't guarantee that Bobby ever knew about this. That's the problem. It was shadow dropped to Nora and Frank.
This wasn't one of the
no,
originals that was
no.
recovered from his vehicles.
It
was
doesn't
not, no.
matter. Bobby was it. Look at the emblem. Like,
He was a member of the organization. Yeah.
This emblem is awakened, right?
It's Sanctum.
It's Sanctum. It's literally their material. And this screen is leaked from our fucking information. Like I think this is like a key thing. This was leaked.
Yeah.
This is not known information. This, you ready for this? Was also given to Frank and Nora, and I told them don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Oop.
That means that Bobby gave it. He took quite literal evidence related to a state terrorist and gave it to, I don't know, man. This is fucking cooked. What the fuck? This is it.
Yeah.
Because Frank and Nora told me someone gave it. They didn't know who. You literally cannot have this otherwise. Wait, then what is this number? Which, by the way,
adds up
actually,
to 365.
there is a second. I remember the day. Remember, I got this the day I became. Remember, we saw this the day I became the director, and you guys showed me. That's the only day this showed up.
Yeah. Wasn't the day that you
This
became
might have been
director, or
Gunnar
was the-
fucking Kane.
I believe that this was the day that I was suspended, so like a week and a half later.
The 365.
Yes.
You're right. I have a photo of the exact day it showed up.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
I would love
Wait
that
a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have the photo. I have the timestamp. IT can literally tell us who accessed it.
Oh.
Because on that day, Brandon Valentino, known faceless asset, twatted out because we were like, what's 365? Oh,
Yep.
Brandon Valentino quite literally twatted, anyone know where I can buy an anniversary gift? I have it on my ShareX with the timestamp.
Lovely. Because here's the current thing, right?
I got to take this. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, have fun. Very good.
Night.
Hey, Director Knight. It's Lieutenant with EMS. How are you?
Well, I went on duty for 10 minutes and I ran into a terrorist.
One of those days. Understood. I just wanted to. I don't know.
I would love to have you.
No,
in fact,
I'm not.
Could you imagine a fire marshal?
I would love that. However, control of the fire department rests in EMS, and they're taking that out of my hands over my cold dead body. I'm unpoachable as long as I have the fire department. I'm very sorry.
You know what? That's a. Well, you know what? At least I tried.
No, you absolutely did, and I appreciate the effort. I don't know how secure this line is. This is in regards to your 311 earlier.
Head down to the marshal's office.
The one on Davis or the one at the observatory?
Observatory, please.
Okay. I will remain on duty, and I will get up there as quickly as I can.
Sounds good.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Going into case.
We have Fire Marshal coming up, saying something about the 311. He's got information, worried about secure lines. So,
I think you keep this line in your back pocket as we go to present the case as like a secondary narrative. I think what you were kind of latched onto beforehand is your primary method of charging here. But I also think if you want to get into the divulging of evidence and throw it out there and do what you can to tie it to Bobby and make him prove that it wasn't him, if that's the case. Shift the burden over as much as possible and make him make an affirmative defense.
Yeah, because if the defense counsel goes to throw Bobby up on the stand and say, "Did you release that material?" and Bobby says no, one man's word up against a whole man.
Well, so this is one thing I've never liked. I don't believe historically through every, this is my opinion, right? No offense, Norman, understands when the line goes to the defense needing an affirmative defense. That's been a problem for a minute. I would argue that by us showing how this cannot literally be in anyone's control out of the few people on that day, that there becomes like, it is beyond a reasonable doubt. There are 4 people that have access to that thing, right? That photo, that crystal ball. There are equally only these people that are in the awakened, right? Like yes, it's one person's word, but it becomes unreasonable for it to be someone else without something. You know what I mean? Like what is the reasonable alternative? Right?
That it was one of the other 3 people.
Sorry?
That it was one of the other 3 people in question.
That would be me, McCallister, Blunt.
Oh.
And me, McCallister, and Blunt would need to be shown, did we make this? No, I mean, I'll show our financial records, you know what I mean? We didn't put no books.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
But I mean, more so on the provision of the information, right? Because it gets complicated when you mention Blunt.
True. Wait, did Blunt ever look at it? The crystal ball? McCallister?
Yes.
Okay.
I do believe so. I don't know if Bobby ever did, to be honest with you.
That's why I actually think this is Gunner, if I'm gonna be a butt.
To tell you the truth, director, I agree, and I have proof for it as well.
Yeah.
Just haven't had the time to look into it.
Which is why I don't think this is your primary through line for this case. If you already have the notion or belief that it's going somewhere else, or it came from somewhere else, you should stick to the focus of the investigation that you've already completed. Don't try and rope this in last minute.
Yeah.
I'm not.
True.
No. I have Frank Skinner and Nora Thomas returning back documents that were declassified.
Oh yeah, I gotta check if this is,
because I could. Well, I believe that they'll.
God, this department is fucking stacked.
You know,
this department is fucking stacked, chat.
I've seen those documents before.
This department is so stacked, it's amazing. Can you imagine if this was the Marshals and 5.0?
That I told yourself and Brooke Ruth to go find documents that were in a drawer within the observatory.
7318.
Seriously gone.
Yep. It's just everyone's so locked in and about these investigations and shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was a question for me. What was that?
Oh yeah, I was saying, do you remember those books that were, you know, in some cabinet that I said that was like going to be in the observatory, but like we never found them?
Uh-oh.
What?
I got a phone call saying he's coming up here. Is it secure? And I don't see his blip.
Huh?
Oh, I see his blip.
What are you talking about?
Where is he?
He's just outside that wall there.
Who? Wait, is he?
Fire marshal?
Where is he? I don't see his blip.
Literally immediately north.
I don't see it.
I also don't see
it either.
I also don't see it.
God, you're hallucinating.